Hi everybody out there. I know it's a little dark in here. I'm sorry about that. Um, I wanted to talk about the difference between intimacy and love. A lot of people get those two words and the concepts totally misunderstood. There is intimacy in love, but there doesn't have to be. Um, but for true love, there is definitely intimacy, both on a physical, emotional, and a mental level. Um, Love can be friendship, love can be partners and lovers, love can be the love of a pet or a toy or a house. You can feel um, a connection to something or or to someone. You can even love a goldfish. Um, there have been people who have said and written books and written articles about partnerships and romance and um, all of those other words and the stories behind them and the emotions behind them, but they don't always explain, they don't always encapsulate the whole meaning of the word. Because you can't put emotions into words. You can sort of try, but there are no words to really describe how one feels when one is in love with a partner, or when you are passionate about, say, soccer, or you're passionate about art and painting, or sculpting, whatever your hobby might be. You could be passionate about something. And there's definitely passion in love. Sometimes. But intimacy, there are different kinds of intimacy. There's a physical intimacy, which includes things like sex, intercourse. There are also mental intimacy. And the concept of that is that you share things with your partner. You share your ideas. You share your stories. You share your past. You share your future. You talk to them, you communicate with them, whether that be verbal or nonverbal. You share with your partner, whether that be for one night or a lifetime. It doesn't matter how much time you spend with your partner. If you're intimate with them in a mental way, that's still intimacy. And to me, that's very important in any kind of true um, either friendship or in a true relationship. And I wanted to comment because, as I said, a lot of people get confused or even forget about intimacy in a relationship of any kind. There's also spiritual intimacy. Because of the past 10 or 15 years, a lot more people have begun to be aware of their spiritual health, their spiritual abilities, including ESP, their psychic abilities, their openness to the universe. They're seeing more coincidences in their lives. They're being drawn to books, to movies, to TV shows that help them in some way at just the right time. or books that they read at just the right time to help them through or to help them understand a certain situation. This is all part of spiritual intimacy with either someone who gives you the item or leads you to it, or your intimacy with the universe, or your other spiritual leaders, say for example. Intimacy in a physical sense can be sex. It can be sharing your body with someone, but it can also be sharing your energy with someone. Just a stroking of the hand with your partner when they're sitting down somewhere and you stroke their hands, or if they're crying because they're this sad, they lost a loved one, they lost a pet, or their parent died, whatever the case. If you see them upset and you want to console them and offer your support, then most likely you're gonna either put your hand on theirs. If you're a friend, you might give them a hug. You might just put your arm around them, if that's all right with them. That's all part of intimacy. Because in order to feel okay, and in order for the recipient to feel okay about having some actual physical contact with you, they have to feel a certain amount of intimacy with you. Now, whether that be as a profession or as a friend or as family, there's going to already be some rapport, some kind of a connection. There's going to be some level of trust in the other person, which is basically necessary to reach that stage of intimacy. The other type of intimacy, the spiritual side and the mental side, it can go hand in hand. If you feel one day that you're drawn to a certain store, for example, and you see something that you've been looking into or you've been really curious about in the last few months or even years, and you finally find this one thing that has the topic, let's say it's a book or a magazine, you see the title of it and you're drawn right to where it is in the store or on a shelf, wherever it may be. That's all part of that. If a friend, stranger, or an acquaintance or a family member suggested that you go to the store, then that person has a spiritual link somehow to your purpose or to your highest good, even if they're not aware of that at a conscious level. In my case, I received a book from one of my exes, and it was a book that was written by Simon Green. It's called Shadows Fall. It's sort of a sci-fi fantasy sort of a thing. And at the time, there were parts of the story that ran parallel with my life, aspects of it. And that's totally synchronicity and little coincidences and things that help you get through a certain time and show you and teach you certain things. If you'd like to know more, please give me a message or leave a message down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Alright, bye for now.